Hey, now before I get started, if you're easily offended, if you're religious in any way, then this is probably the most offending, the most offensive fanfiction ever written. And let me explain to you why. Well, firstly, it's a crossover, the most famous kind of fanfiction. It's a crossover between Adolf Hitler, the most evil human being to walk the earth, arguably, and Jesus Christ. Now you probably know what's coming up in this fanfiction. If it's Adolf Hitler who likes to kill, who committed genocide on Jewish people, and you got Jesus Christ. You kind of know, but it's not what you expect. Let me explain to you some of the things that happen in here. 1. Adolf Hitler wanks off Jesus. This is a love story between Adolf Hitler and Jesus Christ. Now, when I first read this, I was actually quite offended and really angry. I was actually screaming at my computer. But now that it's kind of passed, I'm gonna review this and explain to you how fucking sick and twisted the human race is for writing such a story. And there is actually 2 chapters to this. I'm not going to read the second chapter out of respect. That's how bad it is. I will read you the chapter 1 now, just to show you how bad this story is. So if you're easily offended, you don't want to listen to a love story between Hitler and Jesus, then please don't watch. Because I personally don't want to offend anyone. I'm not like the person who fucking wrote this. But if you're curious, continue to watch. Here we go. Oh dear Christ. In the halls of the Reichschancellery, a German soldier was running to an office. When he reached the door, he drop-kicked it open. Mein Führer, spelt wrong. The Americans are inside Berlin. Adolf Hitler looked up from his Volksdesk, which I think is kind of, I don't know, rapidly. Mein Gott in Himmel, I must escape. Quickly he ran to his secret underground laboratory. Scientists were running around and conducting scientific experiments. Active the time machine, shouted Hitler. Hitler could hear Americans shouting in the tunnel behind him, murdering innocent German scientists and soldiers to satiate their bloodlust. So, anti-Americanism right there. You hate the author already, don't you? But Mein Führer, the temporal coordinates are not set. You could be sent anywhere. It is irrelevant, fool. I must survive so that National Socialism can continue. Thoroughly chastised, scientists activated the time machine and Hitler was thrown through time. To 29 AD. A pretty bad opening paragraph, to be honest. You already have a huge hatred to who wrote this, so let's move on. And let me just tell you, each paragraph is worse than the one before it, so keep that in mind. You thought that paragraph was bad, listen to this one. When Hitler stepped through the portal, he saw a beautiful man with blue eyes and a long beard. Greetings, my son, he said. Hitler looked around. Where am I? In Israel, my son. Come, have lunch with me. My name is Jesus Christ. Hitler was instantly amazed. He had been a devout Christian all his life, and he was honoured to eat dinner with Jesus. During lunch, Hitler explained the tenets of National Socialism to the Messiah. To his delight, Jesus loved it. Within an hour, Jesus was won over to National Socialism. So Jesus has been portrayed as a Nazi here, in the second paragraph. Hatred rising. Hitler felt joy in his heart. National Socialism would live again. You know, I'm kind of an atheist myself, but I actually hope that hell is real, so the person who wrote this can go there. I want it to be reserved just for that guy. While they were talking, Hitler found himself checking out Jesus' tight bod. Now you know where this is heading, don't you? If he wasn't Führer of Germany... But he wasn't Führer anymore, was he? That night when Hitler and Jesus were in bed together, Hitler said, "Jesus, what do you think of love between men?" "What do you mean, Hitler?" Jesus asked. Hitler took a deep breath. He would have to be bold. "This is what I mean." He leaned over and started Frenching with the Lord. Now it gets bad. At the same time, he reached down and started tugging on his already turgid member. And then he put in brackets, "Christ slept in the buff." Some needless information there. I kind of guessed, seeing as Hitler is wanking him off. Jesus broke off the kiss. Okay, this is the last paragraph of chapter 1, which is very, very good, because then I can stop reading it. And it's the worst, and if chapter 2 wasn't made, this could actually be the worst paragraph in the entire history of fanfiction. That I've read anyway. But chapter 2 was made. But it's still pretty bad. Listen to this. Jesus broke off the kiss. Hitler, I don't know if I can do this. It feels so good, so right, but I'm afraid. I've never been with another man before. I hate the author of this. I've never been with a man either, Jesus. I'm scared just like you are. But we can't let our fears rule us. I love you, Jesus. Do you love me? Hitler's eyes had tears in them. Jesus smiled. Yes, Hitler, I love you. They embraced. Again, they kissed passionately. Hitler continued to jerk Christ off. I'm going to hell just reading this bollocks out loud. When he began to tense up, Hitler lowered his head to Christ's stiff member and caught Christ's sticky seed in his mouth. Let me read that again. When he began to tense up, Hitler lowered his head to Christ's stiff member, which is and caught, as in Christ's sticky seed in his mouth. There was an incredible amount of it, and it splashed everywhere. When Hitler rose up again, Jesus locked lips with him. He could taste his own salty semen in Hitler's mouth, and he didn't care. Jesus was happy for the first time in his life. If you want me to read chapter 2, because if you're curious about how bad it can actually get, it's actually worse. It's 3 times as worse than chapter 1. So if you are curious to want to actually listen to me read chapter 2, message me, leave a comment or whatever telling me to do chapter 2, and I will do chapter 2. I just can't do it out of my own free will. I cannot read chapter 2 for you. Anyway, I'm gonna go find an actual good fanfiction to read to you, because so that I can get all the images out of my mind. Dear. I'll see you all next time.